Our profiles work, but they're bare. In this lesson, we'll let users edit their profile and upload an avatar, which means handling a real file upload and processing an image. This is the first time we're accepting a file instead of just text, so there's a bit to set up. Processing images means resizing and cropping them, and for that we'll use Wand, a Python binding for ImageMagick. ImageMagick is a system library, so it has to be installed in the container, not just as a Python package. Let's handle both. Open the Docker file and install ImageMagick right after the base image, before we install our Python packages. We update the package list, install ImageMagick and its development headers, then clean up the list to keep the image small. This is a common pattern. When a Python library wraps a system tool, you install the system tool in the Docker file. That covers the system library. Now the Python binding, which we add with UV. The nosync flag records wandinpyproject.toml and UV lock without installing it on your machine, which is what we want since the app only ever runs in the container. These two values are plain settings, not code, so they live in Quart env rather than in the app. A different machine might keep its uploads somewhere else entirely. Uploads folder is where uploaded files land on disk, and image URL is the public path the browser uses to fetch them back, which also carries the pyproject.toml and uv.lock changes UVadd just made. Now read those two settings into settings.py, the same os.environ.getPattern as the rest, each with a sensible default. Both point at the same static uploads folder, which Quart already serves for us. An avatar is square, so when someone uploads a rectangular photo, we need to crop it to a square and produce a few sizes. A small one for the feed, a larger one for the profile. Let's write that image logic in its own file. Create utils imaging.py. We define our three avatar sizes up front, each with a short name and a pixel dimension. Then CropCenter takes a wand image and crops it to a centered square, using the shorter side as the length so we never crop past the edges. This is what keeps faces roughly centered instead of chopped off. Now the function that actually saves the avatar. This takes the raw uploaded bytes, the folder to write to, and the user's ID. It picks an image ID, which is simply the current Unix timestamp. For each size, it crops to a square, scales it down, and saves a PNG named with the user ID, the timestamp, and the size, like the user ID 3, then the timestamp, then LG, then PNG. Why put a timestamp in the file name? Because it doubles as a cache buster. When someone uploads a new avatar, they get a new timestamp and therefore new file names, so browsers can't show a stale cached image. The function returns that image ID and will store it on the user row. A user with no avatar has no image ID and will show a default picture instead. For that to work, the user table needs a column to remember the avatar's image ID. Open User Models, PY, and add an image column. It's a nullable integer holding that timestamp. Null means the user hasn't uploaded anything, so we fall back to the default avatar. Migrate. Since we changed an existing table, Alembic will generate an alter table that adds the column. Now let's build the URL helper that turns a user's image ID into a path the browser can load. Open utils helpers py and add. We add get user by ID, the companion to our username lookup, because editing a profile means loading the current user by their session ID. Then image URL builds the avatar path. If the user has an image ID, it points at their uploaded file at the requested size. If not, it returns a default picture. Add current app to the imports at the top of the file for this to work. A user with no avatar still needs something to show, so drop a placeholder default underscore profile.png into the static folder. This is the picture image URL returns when a user has no image ID of their own. One housekeeping detail while we're here. Uploaded avatars are runtime data, not source code, so they shouldn't end up in Git. Add a .git ignore next to the app. Editing a profile is a form with a file field, so we need a new form. Open user forms py and add it below user form. This form has the username again, plus an image field. File field is WT-Forms' file upload field, and file allowed is a validator that rejects anything that isn't a PNG or JPEG, with a friendly message. Add file allowed and file field to the Quart WTF import at the top of the file. Now the profile edit view. This one is longer, so let's build it in pieces. Open userviews.py. The imports at the top of the file grow a fair bit, so here is the whole header with the new pieces in place. 4 things are new. Path for building the upload folder, request so we can tell a get from a post, update for changing the user row, and our new helpers get user by ID, image URL, and thumbnail process, plus the profile edit form we just wrote. Now a tiny helper to keep the avatars in their own subfolder, and one to run the image processing. Avatars to your points at static uploads. Avatars and save avatar reads the uploaded file's bytes and hands them to thumbnail process, returning the new image ID. Now the edit view itself. The view is login required since you can only edit your own profile. We load the current user by their session ID. On a get, we pre-fill the username field so the form shows the existing name. On a valid post, we only process an image if one was actually uploaded, checking form.image.data. If there is one, save avatar crops and saves it and gives us a new timestamp. Then we build the update, always the username, and the new image ID only if a file came in. We update the row, refresh the session username in case it changed, and redirect back to the profile. The edit page needs a template. Create templates /user/profile_edit.html. We show the current avatar at the top then the form. The one detail that matters for uploads is enctype multipart.shareForm data on the form tag. Without it, the browser sends only the text fields and drops the file. Any form with a file upload needs that attribute. The avatar is saved, but the profile page still doesn't show it. Back in User Views PY, the profile view needs to pass the avatar down to its template. We call the same image URL helper, this time with the profile owner's ID and image. No size argument, so it hands back the LG version, which is the 75 pixel one. Now show it. Open Templates, User or Profile.html, and put the avatar next to the username. A flex row puts the picture and the name side by side, and rounded circle is the bootstrap class that crops it into a circle. Our square avatar is what makes that circle look right. Last touch, nobody can reach the edit page yet. Open Templates, navbar HTML, and add the link for logged in users. It goes inside the if session username branch, right above logout, so it only shows when someone is actually logged in. Restart the app and try it. Register, log in, hit Edit Profile, and upload a photo. It comes back cropped to a neat circle next to your username, and anyone who hasn't uploaded one still gets the default picture. Our users have faces now. Next, we give them something to say.